Hey, what's up, guys? I wanted to share how I do my budgeting every single month. And as I'm getting close to the end of November, I'm making slight adjustments. So I just wanted to share what I've been doing throughout the year. So if you look into the bottom of my spreadsheet, I track all my miles because I do a lot of Uber. And this really can apply for any of you that if you're using a vehicle for business use, then I think that this can be really helpful to track all of your miles. And anytime I get in the car, I always put in my starting odometer. And then when I know I'm done for the day for whatever I'm doing, normally it's for Uber, I'll put in the ending mileage and you'll see I have all these totals. So what I did is the deduction rate is 70 cents per mile, so that'll automatically get totaled in. The fuel savings, I think right now it's at like 280 per gallon, so I made a little cushion here at 325. And then for my Volvo, it gets 18 miles to the gallon, so that's why you see this 18 sitting here. So you can always make this adjustment. And then for the repairs, I actually throughout the year have been tracking this. So what I have found is 6.5% of the total miles seems to be a good number for a savings. And I'll show you where I got this. So I've been tracking the totals. And I would advise you do this maybe at the beginning of this upcoming year. Just put in your beginning odometer, and for this example, as of today on the 29th of November, I have this ending odometer. And so how I got the 6.5% was I've been tracking the total amount for repairs I've paid this year. So I took that number and I divided it by the total business miles. And that's where I get roughly 6.5%. And so that's how I put that number in my spreadsheet. And I'm also going to share this with you guys. So in the description, I'm going to have a little template so you guys can just have this spreadsheet if you want to use it. But I do have two vehicles, so whenever I use my other car, then I'll do the same exact thing. And then what I have in here is the daily income. So I like to just track what I'm making on a daily basis. And that's pretty easy for like the Uber. I know exactly what I'm making every day. And then for my bookkeeping business, whenever I do get paid, I'll just plug it into here. And then anytime I get paid from my private money lending, I'll check it in these boxes as well. And so why I do that is because I have these weekly charts here. So it may seem a little overwhelming, but it's really it's pretty simple for the most part. I already set everything up, so if you do want to copy what I'm doing, you can use this as a template and just put in the information that makes sense for your business. So this up here is my total gross, so this will automatically go in to these boxes when you plug in the numbers here. And then the mileage deduction is going to be plugged in from the mileage chart that we have down here. So you'll see this 522.20 for the first week will be plugged in here. And then I also have an office at home, so I'm taking that deduction as well. So that will give me the adjusted gross income, and that helps me because that's where I can get my tax savings numbers. So I'm not doing this fully correctly. I should be allocating at least probably 25-30% of the adjusted gross income. But as I'm growing my business for my bookkeeping, I'm just paying as much as I can. So I only put 5% for now. So this number here, if you're gonna change these, then I would recommend putting that to about 25-30%, and that'll give you a more accurate savings for your taxes. So I kind of do like the profit first in my business. So what I have is an income account, checking account, then I have an operating account. So this right here in this box, I have my total operating savings. So this is really everything that I know I'm paying throughout the month for sure. And so right now I kind of made this adjustment this month. The fuel savings and repair savings, these numbers automatically get put in from our mileage chart here. And then whatever makes sense for you. So this upcoming month, I'm going to start putting in how much I think I need to save for insurance every month. So if I'm paying $100 a month, then each week I'm going to have $25 saved up in each of these boxes. And the same thing, I have a QuickBooks account, so I'm tracking everything in QuickBooks for my actuals. And then anything else that maybe I have subscriptions, like for my website, I'm gonna have to pay $25 a month for that. So I'm gonna allocate that for each week, so I know that at the end of each week in my income account is where I'm getting paid. Then I'm gonna transfer this amount into my operating account. So the same thing, I have a tax savings account. So end of each week, I'm transferring from my income account into my tax savings account. And then I have a prepaid expense account. So this is really everything that I'm using for if I pay for the whole year, and any loans that I have. So I have a couple loans here. I have a credit card that I'm paying down that I paid for something for an education, to like pay for a course. So I'm gonna start paying down this credit card. And then like my LLC savings, I know that I have to pay that at the end of the year. Car registration, anything like that you're paying for the whole year, or you know that you're gonna have to pay a one lump sum at the end of the year, then I'm putting everything into there, and then I'll transfer this amount into my prepaid expense account. And then I have the profit, so this is where I'm just sending it to my personal account for vacations or whatever I want to use it for. And so this bottom number here is the total net, and this is the number I really want, because this is the amount that I'm paying myself to my personal bank account for any other expenses, so my mortgage and car payments, everything like that. This is the amount that's going to my actual checking account. So that is important, because now I understand that I have enough money saved in my business account to pay for normal expenses, and then I could start making a plan. So this total net here is going to be what I actually pay myself. And this number here, the goal, this is the amount that I need to be able to pay for all my expenses. So I like to have this number as a goal, and then this will show me how much I need to make before the end of the month to reach that goal. So that's really everything that I do. And then once I go through each week, you'll see that it is marked done. And as you can tell, I'm in week 4 now, so I haven't transferred anything yet because I haven't reached the end of the month or end of the week 4. So when I do get to the end of the week, I'll just go through here, and when I transfer these funds, all this market is done, and that way I know that I paid myself. And then when I get to the bottom here, I have the total that I can pay myself, and then I'll mark it as done. So at the end of the month, when I'm going through everything, I could just come back in here and just look and see to make sure that everything is marked done in green. And if I see any red boxes, then I know I didn't pay myself. So, and then once you get to the next month, you can just copy this into a new page, and then you would just reset it so that everything is cleared out. And I could probably just show you that real quick. So I'll just duplicate this. So now I have the copy from the previous month. And then what you'll do is I'll just start with the income. So just come into these boxes that you've been putting in, and you'll just delete whatever amounts that you made for that month. And you'll see that things on the right will start zeroing out. And then you can change the dates too if you want. And then same thing for the mileage. The only thing you want to delete is the start and end here. And then you'll see everything gets wiped out. So you'll just go through here, your total miles, all the savings goes to 0. And then this is just how you would start over for the month. And then you'll see, and then these numbers here, you can just manually put them in throughout each week. So whatever these numbers are for you, you'll just add those in. And then the last thing you'll want to do is to get rid of these, you'll just delete that, and that'll mark it back red. So it takes a little bit of time, but I think it's worth it for me. The whole purpose of me doing this is I just want things to be to a point where I don't have to really think about it anymore. I just know that when I come in each month, I know exactly the amounts that I need to save, and I have a realistic goal that I can pursue for that month. And this really just helps me track how much I'm making throughout the month, so that if I need to make a little more, then I need to find a way to reach this goal of $46.75. And so that's really the gist of it. I know it's kind of a lot, it seems, but I've really thought about this for a long time, and it's really changed quite a bit as I've gone through the year, just because there's certain things that I'm buying and there's certain things that I need to save for. And the more money that I'm making with my bookkeeping business, the more clients that I'm gaining, then the more that I can strategically start paying off different loans, and I can start making a real savings. And so this is how I'm tracking it. and then everything else as far as the actuals is I'm doing in QuickBooks, and I'm making sure that every single expense is tracked, and then that's where I'm getting some of these estimates to where I look in my QuickBooks and I know what my actual expenses are, and then I can make a game plan from there. So hopefully this is helpful. Like I said, I'm gonna use a blank template. I'm gonna save it in the description so you guys can have this. And if you have any questions, please reach out. I would love to help. If you guys have any other suggestions on videos, I'd love to hear them. I'm not sure if a lot of this is helpful for you guys, so please just let me know. Like, leave a thumbs up or a comment. I would like to know if this is helpful for people, and if it really isn't, I'm not going to really make too many of these. So I would love your feedback. But anyways, I will see you guys in the next video.